What's going on? It's another episode of Wealth is Gangster. You know what I'm saying? It's a Monday, it's market. We're in the bear market. So it's only right. I got my first guest ever to Wealth is Gangster family on here, Trymaine Kelley. How you doing, fam?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you back on the screen with me, man. And just want to I had talked to you about this before, how I want to start giving people more of an update, especially like where we from. Like, it's a different little market shows and stuff, but people kind of gravitate to the people that they know of, and just hearing us talk, these kind of conversations need to happen more from where we from. And you obviously you know that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So today we're gonna be talking about the bear market. We're gonna be talking about investing, just the mindset of investing, and just overall, is it good, bad, inflation, just everything that we're dealing with right now. So we're gonna get a bit of your insight and your mind. We had an interview, but give people a quick little brief about you in your journey so far in investing, from the military on to investing until now, and then we'll get conversation going.
All right. So let's see. It's been about 18 years now that I've been investing. Been in the military for about 16 and been, investing my whole time in, and really just been getting like really into the weeds of it in probably the last like 10 years or so. Like when I say weeds, I mean like figuring out what moves markets, what moves prices in stocks, PE earnings and PE ratios and what all that stuff means, load, no load funds and all that type of stuff. So there's a lot to it, and I've been doing that now for 10 years. I also wrote a book that's on Amazon called The Quick Start Guide to Investing. So that's out there. It's a quick, short read. It basically lays out for newcomers and new people that are beginning investing how to start, and a quick and easy way to break down all the stuff that they hear but don't understand. It's a kind of simplified process to get people started.
And how did you get into investing? Was it somebody that got you in there, or did you just discover it on your own? What was that process like?
I discovered it on my own, man. So when I initially started, it was because of the job that I had. They basically forced us to get a 401k, right? So I didn't know what that was. So I was like, okay, what's a 401k? So I started looking into it. And then I was like, okay, so I'm giving them money to invest for me to one day be able to retire, hopefully, right? So I was like, all right, got it. Started doing that. And then, like I said, in the military, they preach the same thing, like put money up, invested this, that, and third. So I was like, okay, there must be something to this, like if everybody's saying this and it's something that I wasn't hearing before that, what I mean? So it's like the people that were saying it too were in the spot that I wanted to be in, right? They retired and they ain't got to do nothing, they got money coming in. And I'm like, that's what I want to be like. How do I get there? You know what I'm saying? So I started looking into investing and stuff, and then that's it. Like that's the way. Like most of the wealth of people comes from investing. Like I don't know if you've heard the saying, but you cannot save your way to $1 million, right? So you got to invest. So you got to make your money multiply, and that's what investing is. And once you get into it and learn it, like it's really the seventh wonder of the world, like they say, compound interest. And once you start investing, and then the dividends start re-rolling back in, and you get more and more stocks, more and more shares, like it compounds really quickly. So that's what I've been doing, and that's how I found out like that's gonna be my way to financial freedom if nothing else worked. If
Yeah.
I get laid off or whatever, as long as I got some type of income coming in, I'm gonna be okay when I retire. So
And that's the thing. I'm telling people that's how you build your safety net. People always asking about retirement, this and that. We're programmed to work all our life just for retirement, but people never told that no, you can start putting away for your retirement yourself if you do got a job or if you don't. And then, even if you do got a job, and even like you say, it's going to a 401k, it's still good to do your own investments outside of that. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like, don't only depend on that 401k, like you said, because
right.
if that job get rid of you, then it just stops right there. Then you're gonna get taxed to get it out, this and that and the third. So just even if you at work putting in your 401k, get a percentage of your check and start doing your own investing, because you can basically do the same thing your 401k doing. They
Yep.
put it into they all they doing is investing your money and flipping your money while you waiting on to retire. They just gonna play with it for all them years.
Yep.
You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? So when we talk about right now, we're in a bear market. So what like if someone asks you, man, I want to jump in, but the market is bad, and all these scary things that people start saying. What is your first response when you because everybody want to jump in when it's going up, but really that's the wrong time to get in because you should have been already in. That's what I try to tell people. You know what I'm saying? When you get in on the way up, it's to me that's more dangerous, but. Because it could drop. And once it go down, it's gonna come up, and once it go up, it's gonna come down. So a lot of people buy right when it's at the top. I'm like, nah, you wait till it got popular on Facebook, then it's gonna go down because all the sellers, everybody that's rushing in, the people that's been sitting for the sale now. Like so, what would you tell people like that when they're so terrified of the market?
All right. So first, let's start with some terms, right? So what is a bear market? A bear market is when the stock market falls basically 20% or more from its high, right? So that's a bear market. And a correction is when the market falls 10% from its high. So right now in a bear market, it's about 25% is what it's been about this year. So definitely, in my opinion, I got to say my opinion because I don't want people to take this as gospel. I'm not a financial person, not a financial expert and I have a degree or nothing like that. But in my opinion, you should definitely be getting in right now. Yes, the market might go down a little bit for the next few months, but if you look at the levels of the stocks and the prices that they're selling for right now, they're comparatively cheap to what they're going to be in the next 5, 10, 20 years, as long as you have that much time before you retire or need the money. If you need the money now, obviously don't invest. I know a lot of people are dealing with hard times with the inflation, losing jobs and stuff like that. So if that's your situation, then don't invest. You got to take care of yourself and your family first. So definitely do that. But if you don't need the money right now, definitely invest. I mean, you really can't beat it. Like Amazon right now is under $100 a share when it was, $3,000 a couple months ago. They did a stock split and all that, but it's going to go back up. Right now, Amazon is expected to be what was it? I saw a projection. I think they said $225 a share by next year. So that's over doubling your money right there in a year. Like you can't get that from anything else. And not just that, there's also Google. Google did a stock split also. Shopify. There's a whole bunch of big companies, big brands, Tesla, big name brands that's basically did stock splits to make it cheaper for the common everyday person to get the stock. And if you're not taking advantage of these opportunities, then you're the one that's gonna miss out and be looking, like, what, man, I had that opportunity and I didn't take it, so this is definitely a time for those people who have a little extra cash or can put $50 a week or whatever the case may be towards your future and watch how it grows, and then you'll be pleasantly surprised.
And I would say most of us got, even the people that's doing bad because it is hard times and all that, but them the same people you'll still see at the liquor store, still eating McDonald's every day. So that's where when I talk to people about investing and they're scared, I always tell them to start with the money you throw away anyway. So if you go out to eat a couple times a week or whatever, you McDonald's 5 times a week, go 2 times a week now. That extra $30, $40, put that in the market. So now you don't have to be scared about the market crashing because you use the money that you throw away anyway. You know, I find it to be a lot of excuses, but when you hit him with something like that, okay, well, there's no excuses because he's telling me to use money I already throw away. I ain't got nothing to lose because when you go to that mall and shop, you don't worry about, well, I'm not gonna get nothing back. Or what if these clothes break soon? I get to the house. You know what I'm saying? We're only like that when it comes to bettering ourselves for inflation. For investing, and that's just a mental thing because we're not taught that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was telling you all the time, these conversations need to be more regular. They need to be more younger so the kids grow up and they kind of just know it like it's natural because we didn't hear nothing about no investing growing up. We didn't even know what that word was. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what, like, how do you balance the inflation shooting up, the market going down? And I tell people, these are the times where the rich get richer. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, because they're strategizing for these, because it's about what, every 8 to 10 years that it has this type of process.
Yeah, every 10 years.
Yeah. So they sitting back really waiting on this to happen. The rich get richer when everything's going bad. So how do we, as the everyday people, get our mental to understand that this is bad, but it's really opportunity out here right now, dealing with the inflation and the market going down.
So there's two sides to this when it comes to bear markets, right? So you can make money when stocks go down. It's called shorting a stock or shorting an index, whatever the case may be. So when that goes down, you make however much it goes down by. So that's where the rich get a lot of their money from, because they have cash stashed aside, so they can short stuff like that. So when it goes down, they're still making money, right? And then after that, what they do is they buy it at the lower price when they see it going back up. So now they're making money on both ends of that. So that's how the rich get richer with that, right? But the normal everyday person is not that in depth with the market to know these types of things, right? So the best thing that we can do as normal everyday people is to invest in index funds. Now, index funds are basically a broad market of different stocks, right? So take the S&P 500, for instance. You can invest $50 if you wanted and get a portion of all 500 of those companies. So, and that's how you spread your risk. You don't want all your risk in one stock, because if that one stock goes down, you lose, right? But the difference is one stock going down versus 500 stocks going down. Which one are you going to take? So that's the purpose of index funds. You spread your money out, so you leverage your risk, and then you have more leverage when it comes to that. So that's what the normal everyday person should do. And we've all heard buy low, sell high, right? We've all heard it. But the problem is nobody wants to buy low because stuff is going down.
Yeah.
That's when it's low and nobody wants to buy. Yeah. So that's where that philosophy of buy low, sell high, we all hear it, but nobody does it, because that's when we get scared. And Warren Buffett said, be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. Yeah. Right now, everybody's fearful. Nobody wants to buy anything. So I'm buying a lot. I'm buying as much as I can. Yeah, it might go down a little bit, but I don't need it right now. So when the long term, 20 years from now, whatever, that's going to be way higher than it is now. And I'm going to look like a genius, basically, that I'm winning, while everybody else is like, oh man, I could have did this. I could have did that. And then that's the regret of it all is the biggest problem, because we don't see a whole lot of these opportunities in our life. Like we said, like once every 10 years or so. So how often are we going to have any type of money to throw off into these things, right? We got kids. Our kids going to be in school. They're going to need stuff. They're going to be in college. They're going to need stuff. Like, we're not always going to have money. So if you have money now, like now is the time to be throwing it into the stock market to take advantage of these opportunities.
For real. And I love when you brought up the index, because that's, like you said, because even within that, some of them could be going down, some of them could be going up, but you stay on a balanced road. Like you say, you're not putting it all on one major stock to just go down. So that's big. And as far as this, I told people when we was getting them checks, I was like, okay, it seemed cool, everybody getting a check right now, but watching the next couple of years how inflation go shoot up. And everybody thought I was crazy. Now, like everything, I'm talking about, you can go to the grocery store on a daily basis now and see stuff just inching up every day. Like I seen a package of chicken breast like $17. That thing used to be like $11. You know what I'm saying? Like, so how do you? And that's why I was telling people, like, we like to save our money. You know what I'm saying? Like we like you said, we can't save ourselves to get rich, so we like to have it under the bed or have it in the bank. But I told them that's when we lose money just sitting in the bank. We lose money when it's sitting under your bed.
That's right.
Help people understand what that term when I say just by having your money sitting up, because we're taught to save, so they think they're doing good, but actually that $1,000, that $5,000, that $10,000, that $100,000, if you just got it sitting every day, it's subtracting. Help people understand what I mean when I say that.
All right, so when you put your money in a bank account right now, a savings account, let's say even the highest yield savings account right now that I've seen is getting 2%. That's an online bank account that doesn't have any physical locations. So if something happens, yeah. So it don't have any physical locations. So if something happens, you can't go into the bank and be like, hey, where's my money? You're not gonna be able to talk to somebody. You're gonna have to call them on the phone, right? And that's 2%. So that's the highest I've seen, right? Inflation this year was at 11 point something percent. So that's a 9% difference. So basically you lost 9% of your money in the highest bank account that's out there right now.
And most of them ain't nowhere near that.
Right. Most of them not. Most of them are under 1%.
Yeah.
So you're losing even more. You're losing 10% or more if you just keep it in the bank account. So your $1,000 is now worth $900 if you're keeping it in a 1% 1% bank account and inflation is 11%. You basically just lost $100, just like that. Now, with the market from 1980 to 2006, the market averaged 12.6% gain, right? So at that time, inflation obviously wasn't as high as it is now, but so inflation was 2 to 3%. That was the average during that time. And then you're getting 12% in the market. So you're making 10% each year. That's how it was in the market. And so that's why a lot of people that talk about the market stuff in the past are really doing well, because the market was booming. 12%, like that's been unheard of since then. It's been 6 to 7% has been, and then 10% depending on the years and stuff like that. But it's averaged about 8% or so since that time. But the thing is, even at 8%, it's still outpaced inflation, which means you are still making money and not losing money. Bank accounts haven't been given really good interest rates for that outpaced inflation since like the 80s. So if you wasn't locked into your bank account in the 80s where you was getting 4 or 5% on your money, then you're basically losing money since then. So that's why, I mean, even just looking at the numbers, it only makes sense that to invest your money into something that outpaces inflation. So at least if nothing else, your money stays the same buying power that you have for the future. But most investments that we have now, as in bank accounts and savings accounts, stuff like that, you're losing money, and inflation's eating you up, and you're not going to have that same buying power in the future that you do now with just keeping your money in a bank account. And it's even worse if it's under your bed, because it's not getting any interest at all. You know, if it's stashed in the floor and the walls under the mattress, you ain't getting no interest at all. So you're losing even more. So that's how the numbers work out when it comes to inflation and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time that put in the bank, because I forgot what years, but back in the days you could really put your money in the bank and it'd flip in every like 4 or 5 years. It would flip. Yep. That's along like the same $100 that you could have flipped to whatever hundreds of dollars back in the days won't even be $110, $20 now in some years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And then like you say, the inflation, but people not even counting the bank fees. They right. Like all these fake fees that they come up with just to take more of your money. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So that's crazy. And so what when you I know you got the book out, and I know we done talked about some things. What's the next level of your thing? Are you thinking about more teaching, building classes, curriculum, or are you just gonna stick with like the school and just give the side advice how you do it now?
I plan to make it bigger. I've just been preoccupied with some things right now, but I plan to do another book. So that should be coming in the next. I'm not even gonna give a timeline on that, but I'm gonna do another book. I want to do in-person classes and virtual classes. So that's something I'm working on right now to try to figure out the logistics of how that's going to work and stuff like that. And then I also want to do in-person events, right? Because talking about it is one thing, but when you meet people and you talk to them and they give you insight about what they're doing and you give them insight about what you're doing, and that back and forth, you know, it really opens your mind and gives you more knowledge and more, you know, more expansive about the possibilities of things that you could be doing. And then it's also business networking, right? So if me and you, for instance, we talk about business stuff all the time. Yeah. If you meet, you never know when you're going to meet that one person that's going to help you launch your business or launch whatever you're doing to the next level. So in-person meetings and in-person type things are really big on my list that I want to do in the future.
Nah, and that's big. I'll tell people right now, like the network, when I think about people like you and some other partners that I'm building with, you know, and even the ones like even me and you, we have talked about things we haven't fully did yet, but we got that connection, right? So I got like maybe about 10, 15 guys that I know. I'm like, these guys gonna be like the next millionaires, you know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people won't see that. A lot of people will wait till it happens and be like, oh no, but I see it already, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I enjoy having these different conversations with people that, when I say wealth, a lot of people think, well, everybody you bring on got to be rich, got to be doing that. No, it's a mindset of getting there. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all in our journey, in our process of working up to getting there, figuring it out, still going through the ups and the downs. But the mindset of getting wealthy is the backstory behind this show and what we're putting on. You know what I'm saying? And you're definitely one of those guys. Help them. What's important in building a mindset to build wealth? Because when you building wealth, I always use this analogy. It's like getting a couple bricks a day to build a mansion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people, you throw people 3 or 4 bricks a day to go put on top of their mansion. They be like, man, I'm not doing that. That's too slow.
Yeah.
But the person that stuck it out in 3 to 5 years gonna have a mansion while you still over there complaining, talking about it's too slow. You know what I'm saying? It well takes time. Yeah, like it's a couple quick get rich schemes, but most people that get rich, like they say, what 50-60% of people that win lottery end up broke because mentally, no matter how much money they get from winning, they still broke mentally.
Right.
So what's the power of the mental hurdle before you even see the money? Just the mental version of being wealthy.
So, in my opinion, the mental stuff has to be knowledge, right? Like you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
One and two, it's visual. So you have to see somebody or know somebody who's at a level that you want to be at. So like I said, I've met people and I still talk to people about, investing and stuff like that. And they're at the level I want to be at. So I have a picture of where I'm going to be from that. Right. And then the knowledge portion that's just on me. I have to do my own due diligence and figure out what's going on, like where I should put my money and stuff like that. So knowledge is definitely the biggest one, because without knowledge, you're not going to know anything. Right. I mean, we could talk about stuff all day, but if I don't tell you, hey, you need to go on Charles Schwab, you need to open a brokerage account, you need to do this, do that, and do that in the third. If you don't know that process, then you're never going to do it, right? So knowledge, that's the biggest one. And then, like I said, knowing somebody, basically a mentor, to help you out with that and to help you see where you want to be and to help guide you on that path to where you want to be.
And it's so much easier now. Like when I'm older than you, but when we was younger, we couldn't get on YouTube. Now you can get mentors. The YouTube University is. I'm talking about before you even take a class or take a this or take a that. YouTube will get you pretty much there. You know what I'm saying? Like because I don't learn some stuff. Like I'm a person that still believes in paying for certain courses and certain knowledge from certain people. But a lot of that game is right there on YouTube, man. You know, like Billion used to always say, use your smartphone for smart stuff. We use our smartphones for dumb stuff all day. But it's like you got everything, all the knowledge and everything you got. Of course, it's some you got to go through the knowledge. You don't want to suck in everything. There's some false stuff out there. But overall, if you in there looking for some real tangible things about like investing and mindset and all that, most of the time you're gonna get some good knowledge. You know, the foolery is gonna be there, but most of the time that's for the foolery stuff. Right. Most people that's serious into this world gonna give you some kind of good advice. You know, and like you say, you always want to research. You don't never want to take anybody's advice and run with it. You want to take it in and then research and see if what they talking about is true and all that. So when you talk about the education and the knowledge, the research part, tell them how critical that is, because no matter what you get, you have to build up the person inside of you by researching. Don't just go with what I say, what Trymaine say, or what the biggest. I don't care if they're a billionaire. Don't just go learn it, because even if they tell you the truth, the process of learning it is what sticks to your brain.
Yep. So again, in my opinion, I think that I listen to myself more than I listen to anybody else. Right. So, and I always think that I'm right, no matter what. Even when I'm wrong, I always think I'm right. But that's just me. That's just the person I am.
Yeah.
And I mean, I believe most people are like that they, they believe in themselves enough to bet on themselves more than they'll bet on anybody else. Right. So with that happening, when I learn the knowledge, when I'm learning this stuff, when I'm applying it, I'm betting on me. Right. So I'm betting that what I read, what I watched, what I learned, I can apply it in a way that makes me successful. So that knowledge has to be ingrained in you. You have to know it. If not, then you're not going to take everybody else's word for it. Because if I take somebody else's word for it, and then next year they go broke, how am I going to feel?
Yeah.
I have to know the skills myself to apply them no matter what. Because at that point, it doesn't matter what I have. As long as I got a computer and internet connection, I should be good. And I can work from anywhere. I can make money from anywhere. Like, that's the goal for me, to be able to do that from anywhere. I don't want to have to, work a 9 to 5 my whole life. I don't want to have to, help somebody else build wealth for their business by working for them my whole life. That's not my goal. So I need to know the skills myself to apply them to get to where I want to be in my life. And so there's there's a story about schools, right? I'm not down to schools at all.
Yes.
Let me throw that disclaimer.
I always have to say that too because I go at them, but I'm trying to.
I'm not down to school. I'm not just but the Rockefellers, so schools were instituted for the Rockefellers, and the Rockefellers deemed school as a process for building workers.
Yeah.
So if you know, when we go to schools, that's why we don't learn about taxes. That's why we don't learn about building businesses. That's why we don't learn about all these things that entrepreneurs know that they're successful in, because that's not what school is for. School is to build workers, to help those people that are the entrepreneurs and stuff make more money and be where they want to be in life. Yeah. So I'm just outside of that, and I'm just getting my own knowledge, and I'm trying to tap in with the people, the entrepreneurs and the guys like that wasn't in school. I mean, there's so many people that are high school dropouts, college dropouts, like don't have any degree at all, and they're millionaires and billionaires.
Yeah.
And it's obviously not because of school, it's because they took a chance, they did something outside the box, and they had other people working for them. Like, for instance, it wasn't Elon Musk. There's this quote that says, "I don't have a degree, or I don't have a bachelor's degree, but I have people with bachelor's degrees working for me."
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't have to be the smartest one in the room about a certain topic. I just have to know the whole picture. Yeah. If I know the whole picture, I can get people to do the individual portions of it, and then it made me look a whole lot more powerful and build my business up how I want it, because I'm the one who has the entire knowledge instead of the specific knowledge of whatever case may be. So that's one of the biggest things for me with school knowledge and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, man, everything you just said is just right on point, and that's the reason why I'm in the process of now raising money to open up the CEO Youth League Academy, because, like you say, I guess I do down schools, but I don't do it because I understand what they're there for. Most of us are in positions where we got to work, right? Mm-hmm. So schools to me are just daycares. The system knows this. The system knows most parents, especially when they are skin color, they have to be at work every day. And mm-hmm. they know even if I don't give them the best education, they still need somewhere to send their kids. So school to me is more of and that's why the kid what's the movie called? My mentor, the school to prison pipeline, and it shows you from the classrooms to the hallways to the lunchrooms how everything is programming our kids for the similar thing that they go through in prison. So mm-hmm. and it boxes them in, like it makes them, or you're dumb if you don't know what's n minus y, or you're dumb if you don't know this and you don't know that. And that's why a lot of our kids feel like they're dumb when they're not dumb. They really just don't know. This system just throws them off. But they're trying to be programmed and trained that's quote unquote smart really throws them off. And that's why you say most of the people that do make it to the top, they shunned all that away. Mm-hmm. It just went straight to the business, went straight to the creative spirit. And that's what I teach in the CEO Youth League. What are you into? Let's figure out how to monetize that. What do you like to do? That's what I always say. I'll never tell my kids, you need to be in real estate. You need to do this. No, what do you like? And then when they tell me what they like, I connect it to, okay, well, you can take that and put it with this. Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? That's the creative spirit that schools don't give it. Schools tell them they got to do this. They got to sit down for this many hours. And most kids, especially black kids, to just being real, they just don't. They're not used to that. And then that's when they'll throw them on the medicine. They'll say they ADHD or whatever and all that stuff. When they know you just boxing in their creativity, and now you're making them feel crazy because you're not connecting with the creative side of them. You know what I'm saying? And that's that educational thing. So that's why I asked you about any classes or anything you're doing, because that's where we need to be at. Instead of complaining about the schools, there's no use to that. What are we going to do about it? So that's why I say the CEO Youth League Academy, you're going to be able to take it as an extra curriculum outside of your public schools. Because like I was talking to the couple yesterday, the Hendricks, and they got their farm, they doing all this, and they still send their kids to school, but they talk about how they sit down and talk to their school. Oh no, that's a lie. This a lie. This the truth. So most people don't do that. Even if you do got to send your kids to school, after school, you have to go through a learning lesson to filter out the lies, because they're at school most of the time, so they're getting programmed by the teacher, the other students, the
Yep.
world is
Yep.
putting their head up. And if they don't come home and get a good clarity of, now that ain't true, this ain't right, don't follow it. If they don't get a constant dose of that, that's when the outside world start eating in on them. So
Yep.
we really have to watch. We really have to watch that that programming that's doing every day, and make sure we're programming them, and make sure we're an example, not just talking to them. We be the examples of, no, I'm an investor. You're going to be an investor. No, I'm this. Do you know this about history? Do you? Like, we got to make sure we're teachers too. Don't just leave it into their hands, man. So I'm glad that you brought up that the school, because I battle with that every day.
Look, I was a straight A student in school. Yeah. But I have never had to solve for X in my adult life.
Yeah.
Nothing about world history, like nothing about that stuff. It's irrelevant.
Yeah,
you know?
It really is.
I didn't learn about taxes. I didn't learn about stuff coming out of my check when I all
the system. Yeah,
I ain't learned about retirement stuff. I didn't learn about none of that. So all that had to be on my own, and I make it a conscious effort to teach my kids about the same thing. So they know about stocks and stuff. They when they get money for their birthday or whatever, give it here, and it's like, okay, what do you want to invest in? We got McDonald's, we got Apple, we got Tesla, we got, whatever the case may be. Like, pick something that you like, that you use every day. And that's another one of my big keys. Like, I invest in a lot of stuff that I use every day. Right. So gas is going up, right?
Yeah.
I'm chilling. Yeah. that sounds bad, but I'm chilling because I know that everybody has to use gas and everybody's going to the pump, and I'm getting a few pennies off that each time they do. So I'm not worried about gas going up. I'm not worried about a whole lot of stuff that my family uses during inflation, because we're even though it's more expensive, we're making money off of it, and it's going to help us in the long run. So that's one of my big keys, is to invest in what you use.
And that's what I always tell people when they first say, well, I don't know what to invest in. I say, where you spend the most money at? That's like, start like that's the simplest common sense. Is you don't need to be the smartest person in the room to just start with where you spend the most money at. You're always shopping at Walmart. You're always buying this. You're always buying that. Okay, there you go. Like, why not put money into where you already personally spend your more money? Then you can get into researching and learning and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. But just start simply with where you put most of your cash at. That's how I try to do it. I try to, like, one of my mentors, he was telling me, he was like, man, that's your gift. You go in these rooms and you hear all this high level information and stuff, but when you go talk to the normal person, the everyday person, you make it sound like, he said, that's your niche right there. You can hear high level conversation, but you tell them the same information, but like, man, all they really saying is woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds big and grand and all that, but all they saying is do this with your money, put that, do, and that's it. They're like, oh, okay, yeah. So sometimes we get tricked out because the terminology is not our world and we're not used to it, but they're not really saying a lot.
Yeah. They're saying the same thing we are, just in different words. That's about it. It's not anything crazy that's going on, and I've been told the same thing about when I first wrote my first book. I had some friends preview it and go over it and stuff, and they was like, yeah, you take all this stuff and you make it sound really simple. It's like, that's what we really like about this. That's what we like about the book. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, as long as I can relay the message, that's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to make $1 million off people, telling people this stuff. All I want to do is help my people and help everybody who's wasn't given those same opportunities know about the opportunities. All I can do is give you information. What you do with it after that, that's on you. But at least you have the information, and you can't say, oh, somebody left me out to dry, or I never learned this, or how can I do this if nobody ever showed me, and stuff like that. Like, it's out there. Once you get it, you got to consume it, and then you got to do something with it. If you can listen to podcasts and listen to all this stuff all day long, but if you don't take action, ain't nothing gonna change. So you gotta be able to take that initiative and do something as well.
Yeah, it's about executing for sure. Tell us, what was the thing? Well, I know the thing behind your book. Let people know a little bit about what your book is, and tell them again where they can go get it.
All right, the book is called The Quick Start Guide to Investing, and it's on Amazon. It's an ebook. It's about 12 pages, not very long at all, but it's basically everything you need to get started in investing. It tells you different brokers that you can use online to open your account. There's no minimum for with the ones that I recommended anyway. There's no minimum for, or no fees for trading. so you can buy and trade and sell stocks and index funds and all that with no fees. And then it's a whole bunch of stuff that I recommend. The index funds that we talked about, there's a list of index funds in there, and it's basically what you should start investing in, how you get into investing, not what you should invest in, but how you can get started in investing, and then different levels up from that if you want to take it further. So that's what the book is about. If you like it, go ahead and get it on Amazon. The Quick Start Guide to Investing. And that's where it's at.
Okay, man. Well, I got you on camera, so I gotta put your feet to the fire. When is we gonna come with our consistent show for the people, man? You know what I'm saying? I know you be busy and everything.
Well, let's see. This week, we definitely can hit up another one this week.
Because like I say, it's just the information, and even on the what's in it, I would like to I don't know, like I know you say you're working on a book, like some type of investing guide book or something we can do, like a collab. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is my point of view. You got more of the technical point of view. You know what I'm saying? And I put my little twist on. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I think we can make something real powerful, a nice little booklet. So just different things that I always tell you I want to do. Like even I was looking at some. Because I'm about to start raising money for the West Night. I'm like, man, we need to get into funding. Because I remember like a year or so ago, I was talking to you. You was talking about apartments and wanting to get an apartment building and all that, and like that type of stuff, man. We need to get some think tanks together. You know what I'm saying? Start applying it up and really moving forward towards that. You know what I'm
saying? That's still coming for me. That's still coming.
I already know. I already, man. Hey, I already know, man. And but see, people don't understand. When you pop, it looks like overnight, but it takes time to build it up. Like if you're not just born with all the money and the resources and this and that, wealth takes time, and it's okay. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like what you're doing. Like I always tell people like this. Like Ford, and when Ford came out with the Ford cars and trucks and everything, right? He started with the vision. Mm-hmm. His great grandkids is the ones seeing the real benefits of it, but it got to start somewhere. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the foundation, me, you, and people like-minded that's trying to set now. We're not gonna see and that's cool. We're not gonna see the full potential that your kids will see, but that's what it's about. Somebody got to be the start. They're gonna be like, it was great grandpa Trymaine, or you know what I'm saying? That's the legacy. That's how you live forever. That's what I try to tell people. You want to live forever, build a legacy that lasts forever. Because in our body, we can't be here forever. Yep. We can leave a legacy that lasts forever. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So on our way out, let's talk about like legacy building, wealth building. And how do you see that when you're doing what you do for your youth?
So first, let me make a quick plug. I got a shirt that says Legacy that I got out, and we'll debut that next time. But it's a Legacy shirt, and it got a DNA symbol on it. So that's one of my big things is Legacy for sure. But so if you know like the history of the Rothschilds and stuff like that, like. What they had a family fund, basically, that had money in it for hundreds of years to make them super wealthy like that they are now. So that's one of the things I want to do for my family as well. I want to make however much money I got when right before I die. My kids and stuff like that will be fine; they'll be straight. But like the life insurance that I get when I die, I want that to be put into like a family fund, and I want it to stay in stocks and equities and indexes for at least 100 years. If I can do that for at least 100 years, then my family won't have to worry about anything else ever again. Like after that time frame, like depending on how much it is that's put off in there, my family be worth hundreds of millions of dollars at that point. You know, like so. Once again, quick history. So the stock market when it started, right? If you had $1 in the stock market until now, it will be worth like $146,000, like just $1. Yeah. So if I can do that with $500,000, and the money can stand there for 5 or 100 years, then my family won't have to worry about anything ever again. So that's one of my biggest goals right there is for the long term of my family. Sure. But for the immediate short term. I just want my kids to learn about this stuff, and so they'll be able to teach their kids the same thing when they come along. And I have accounts for my kids already, investment accounts and all that, and then hopefully I'll live to see my grandkids. And the day they're born, I'm opening them accounts too and putting money in their accounts. So it's gonna be like that. And that's another tradition I want to start. If I do that with my grandkids, hopefully my kids will do that to their grandkids and so on down the line. So like the family fund might not even be, might not even need to be touched if we can keep this going. That'll just be something that, to have for family reunions or whatever the case may be, to pull from whatever that. But yeah, those are some of my goals for my family here in the coming, next century or so.
Yeah, I remember I started saying that a couple of years ago, 100-year plan, and everybody looking at me crazy, like, what you mean 100-year plan? But I get it. Like when you come from a survival world, when you're just trying to make it through the next week, it's hard to really vision 100-year plan.
Yeah.
And that's part of, like I say, that goes back to systematically. They know we stay in survival mode. So if I got you in survival mode, you can't really build nothing. You worried about lights and food this week. You can't think about the next 5-10 years. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So that's gonna, matter of fact, that's gonna be one of my next presentations. I did the Build a Nation presentation with the PowerPoint, and I'm working on the 100-year plan. And it ain't even about like my plan per se. It's about building up the mindset. You know what I'm saying? To really matter of fact, and with the Wealth is Gangster University, I want to collab with you on that. My first course I wanted to do it's called Fast Food to Wealth, and you'll be the perfect person to team up with, because it's showing them how you can have a job at a fast food place, and what you do with that money can still start building your wealth. Once again, I want people to know it's a mindset. You don't need to have hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. You don't got to be the richest person in the world. I tell people all the time, like, there's a lot of people make more money than me. I just do different with my money. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a lot of people that, man, they balling, yeah, but I'm gonna stay consistent on this wealth building. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stay consistent on my thing. And all the people that's shining and grinding and outdoing you and all that, that's cool. But if your vision is wealth, you have to go past all that just to get to the end goal.
Yep. And that's the a lot of people are short-sighted when it comes to that, right? Yeah. Because they wanna ball, they wanna floss. Cool, ain't nothing wrong with that at all. But like, how is it gonna be when you older and you can't work? Yeah. Are you gonna be set up, or are you gonna be living on Social Security your whole life? Yeah. Are you gonna have the ability to stay in your home and have somebody come help you out, or do you got to be in the nursing home? Like they're like, so obviously from Barley and everything, my grandma lived there. I've seen all this stuff. And I ain't trying to have it happen to me. No offense to my family at all, but like I'm not trying to live the same way that they live. Yeah. So like seeing all that is another thing that really pushed me to this. Like it's like, okay, this is not gonna be me, one, and my kids not gonna have to go through this stuff too. So because I've seen what it did to my mom and my dad and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, like nah, I don't want my kids to go through what they're going through.
Yeah.
So it's like, nah. So it's a lot of what I do is not for me per se, right? Like, yes, I want to live nice, I want to live well, I want to be set up and all this, but a lot of this is for my future generations, my kids especially, because I don't want to have them dealing with me when I'm in a state that I can't no longer take care of myself, right? I don't want to be a burden on them. I don't want them to have to worry about me. I don't want them to have to worry about how they're going to find money to bury me and stuff like that. Like all this stuff that I've seen in my life, I don't want for my kids. So that's why I'm working so hard and doing everything that I can to make sure that they don't go through this and they don't have to experience the same things that my parents experienced. Not me per se, but because I'm going to make sure, my parents got everything they need. So I don't have to go through it myself. But I want my kids to be set up way before that even becomes a possibility. So they'll know, like, okay, if something happens to dad, this is where everything is. This is what he wants. This everything's set up, and they ain't got to worry about it. It's not going to be, no fighting about money. There's not going to be about who's going to pay for what. Oh, you make more money than me. You need to do this. It's not going to be none of that.
No fish fries or nothing like that to bury you. None of that stuff.
No offense to people that have to go through all this stuff, because stuff happens, but life insurance, like that's a big thing, you got to have that, because
it's definitely it's definitely never offense. Let me shout out Amazingly Beautiful Kimfo Eddie Wynn. What's up, man? Y'all in the chat, love. It's never no offense, but the way I look at it, fam, we just got to be real. You know, like a lot of
Yep.
our people like to be talked too nice and all that. Nah, it should be offensive if you like. I done seen guys that be having the money phones to their ear and
Yeah.
get killed in the streets like next week and they have a fish fry. Like, how do you take a picture last week with that much money? You know what I'm
Yep.
like?
Yep.
So to me, like, it's never no offense on nobody dying. It's never not about that. It's about the mindset of you. If you could take a picture with that much money, why you don't got insurance?
Yep.
If you can take a picture with that much money, why you haven't bought a piece of property or something to leave your kid? Like little stuff. It ain't about all of us got to be the richest person in the world.
Right.
It's about, you know, like I know a guy that he's not a huge investor. All he said is he got 3 kids and he bought 3 different rental properties for each one of them. Even on a small level, it ain't about everybody got to be the richest. Everybody don't have the dreams I have. Everybody don't have the push and the drive I have.
Right.
But no matter what, even if you just a normal everyday working person, you can still put some money to the side, invest in a couple houses or something, invest in a little money in the stock market, and still set it up where your kids straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe in, you know, and I had this conversation with my grandma before. You know, because, you know, the old people, they were like, okay, he's a good old hardworking man, which I don't take nothing from. But and our conversation was the good old hardworking man that dies believes you nothing, or the person that might not have been quote unquote good in the public eyes, but make sure they kids straight. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we go for the morally good, but you leave your kids and your family struggling after you gone. Like, I don't care if you think I'm the worst person in the world. If I can pass on generational wealth and make sure my kids straight, that's my job. Not how the world see me as a good wholesome man or a good church going man or whatever you want to call me. I don't care about all that. Did I pass on generational wealth where my kids ain't got to worry about starving? My kids ain't got to worry about, well, I'm gonna have to work at Waterbury. You know, all the jobs we thought about. We got 18, man. I'm gonna give me a job at McDonald's, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And like I said, it ain't knocking that, but at the same time, we should be knocking that, because what is McDonald's doing right now? They figuring out how robots can fix you burgers. So the jobs that we were looking for when we was young, not even gonna be there in another 10, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? So I think on a certain level, we do got to get kind of like, not disrespectful, but get a little like nah, that like raising the standards. What I always say, changing the narrative and raising the standards. You know what I'm saying? Like, before I wrap it up, I'm gonna tell this quick story. We had a guy, he about 17, he got his girl pregnant, right? They were saying, oh, he got a job at the dollar store. That's good, because that's normally us doing anything better than jail is we call good. To me, they're gonna raise the standards. We're not all jail men. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been no prison. You ain't never been no prison. But for some reason, they only talk about us in jail. Like, oh, okay, you ain't in jail, you doing good. That's not that we're not striving for the lowest of the low level no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what I told them is, y'all saying it's good that he working at the dollar store now, but what's gonna happen is he gonna get that first check. And what he gonna do? Because I understand that mindset. He gonna take that first check and he gonna go flip it. Why? Because that first check ain't no money. He got a baby coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay to work, but while he working, we need to be giving him investing classes. We need to be giving him this and that, because if he don't got nothing but that job, I guarantee you that he going to the streets. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee. I've seen a lot of guys that didn't want to go to the streets went because it was either this or that job, and that job ain't enough to feed your family. So you gonna do what you got to do. You know, I've seen a lot of people that ain't street guys turn into street guys because they wanted quick money. You know what I'm saying? So we just gotta fight against that narrative. We gotta fight against that where everybody can't be about everybody can't be a business owner. I say, yes, if you got a family, you're a business owner. If you got a relationship, you're a business owner. Like, all of these are businesses that we have to navigate and run right. If you don't run your marriage right, that can go wrong. That's a bad business deal. Or if you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, life is business. So even if the people that say they don't want to be in business, it still is business if you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? So, and any last words on what I just said as we wrap it up, man?
Just one real quick. So about being a good man, right? So the Bible says, in not so many words. Don't quote me on the words.
Oh yeah, I can't quote on the Bible.
But basically, it says that a good man leaves a legacy for his children's children. So, like, and technically in Scripture, like, to be a good man, you should be leaving something to your grandkids. Like, so that they don't have to start from the beginning. And that, like, I'm not super, into it and all this and that, but like, I do believe in all that stuff. But, but it's like, okay, well, I was planning to do that anyway. Like that wasn't even, I didn't even have to read that part, and I still was gonna do that. So
Yeah.
It's definitely about the mindset and getting people to do this stuff earlier. I mean, because think about it, right? If everybody did this for their kids, the prison systems basically be shut down.
Yeah.
There's like it's something crazy disproportionate. Like 80% of the population in prisons are black, and then like what not like 18% Latino. It's like crazy disproportionate to minorities and white people in the prison system, right? So if we could do that, then basically we could shut down prisons because they wouldn't be building them where they build them. They wouldn't be so many of them. And then also with that, like the U.S. per capita incarcerates more people than the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Like think about that. We're one of the youngest countries, but we put more people in jail than any other country in the world.
Because it's big money.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And like in my book that's coming out, man, I'm about to finally get a date. I finally got it loaded up to Amazon, so I should be getting a date any now. The streets lied to us. But I started off saying that most of the things that's done to us are systematic, but we still got things that we can do, even though that's a fact. Like I don't want to sit back and just blame the system, even though we redlined it. We opportunities are lower, but with technology and all that, it helps us bypass a lot of that. So now it's about knowledge, like you say, and learning and just having a drive to push through it. It's still gonna be trials and tribulations, but the way our great grandparents and them had it, we got it way better. So and you know what I'm saying? So it's still gonna be some things, but to me, those not even excuses. You gotta push through those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, it's not even always pushing through it. You can go around. Like you just got to find a way to do what you want to do. It could be above it, it could be through it, it could be below it, it could be around it. But there's other ways. Like people just got to look for those ways and not just settle for what they're given. Like if I sat back and waited for reparations my whole life, I die before we get reparations. You know, so I got to figure out, okay, they're not gonna give me my 40 acres and a mule. They're not gonna give me money for this. How am I gonna go get that?
Yeah,
and then
and that's what I tell people, because like I'm on both ends of that. I'm definitely, they owe us, but we're gonna make our own at the same time. Because like you said, sitting back waiting on it. Now we can hold their feet to the fire and say, nah, I ain't messing with you till you pay us this, that, and the third. But it's not in okay, I'm only waiting on that. Nah, while we telling them that they ain't worth nothing, they need to pay us. Let's build our own nation. Let's get our own reparations. Let's do all that. And at the same time, oh yeah, you still owe me. I ain't letting you off the hook. You still owe me, but if you pay me or not, we still gonna build this. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the mindset we gotta have. Because I know some people that just all the way reparations, and I know some people like we ain't gonna never get it, so forget it. Nah, we gotta be in the middle. We gotta hold the government feet to the fire, because they built this country off the backs of our ancestors. So we need to let them know that we know that. You know what I'm saying? And if we get it or don't, we still need to let them know that we know. You know what I'm saying? And we're not gonna go down quiet. But at the same time, man, let's build. You know what I'm saying? Let's build our own reparations. Let's make sure our own generations are straight, regardless. You know what I'm saying? Let's build up our better community. And like I say, half of it starts with knowledge. Like when you say about the prison, most of those prison systems, I mean, most of the prison are filled with guys that didn't have the knowledge on how to get nothing but rob, steal, sell drugs. That's all they knew. They never was given opportunities about, and most of them like Wall Street Trapper, them kind of guys. He learned that knowledge in prison. You know what I'm saying? So most of the guys, they never even get hit with that knowledge until they go to the prison, and that's what we got to stop. We need to get that to them so young that they don't got to go to prison to learn about stocks, bonds, trades. They don't got to wait till they 30 like me plus before you start getting into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so that's the main thing I push the CEO youth league, because we need to plant those seeds much younger. Like what you're doing with your youth. Even if they don't never get into stocks, bonds, just having the seeds planted in their head so young puts them ahead of the kid that never even heard about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the key, man. So I want to wrap it up, man. I'm gonna give you the last words, but I appreciate you coming on again. I definitely look forward to just having these conversations, like bi-weekly, couple times a month, whatever you got the time. I want to get on here. We go over the market. And like I say, some days we'll just get together before the show and be like, okay, we're gonna focus on this. You know what I'm saying? I can pull out some I can pull out a PowerPoint and we'll go through PowerPoint. So we can break down different things, or we can come up here and have the book on PowerPoint, and you kind of go through your book with people, let them know what you know what I'm saying, breaking down the book. and stuff like that. So, let's just continue to stay in contact and continue to build. I salute everything you're doing. And do you want to tell the family anything before you get out of here?
Yeah, a couple things. Just real quick, going
No,
back.
you good. I ain't rushing you. I ain't rushing you.
No, you good. So about the prison and stuff. Another thing about that, about not having the education about that, is a lot of people take plea deals, right? Instead of going to trial. So if this has been stated by multiple like DAs and stuff, if everybody went to trial, the freaking judicial system would shut down, because there's no way they could try everybody for every crime. So people taking plea deals actually helps the judicial system. And usually when they take plea deals, they're getting way more time than they would have if they went to trial. So there's that. And then also about our ancestors and reparations and stuff like that. Like, there's so much about all that stuff that's just crazy. Like how they used to give slave owners land for the amount of slaves that they had. So like they didn't even have to buy it. It was given to them for free. Like, so there's so many wrongs in our history that people don't want to talk about, and is forgotten about, and they don't teach in schools. Once again, knowledge about stuff that they don't want to teach in schools, right? So there's that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day.
It's definitely a topic we need to discuss. We definitely we definitely need to discuss it, man. So that's why I say these conversations they never ended, really. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're trying to figure it out, because it's all mixed together. A lot of people like, I'm only a specialist this or that. I'm a special. I focus on building a nation, so I don't have the luxury of only worried about investing or this. You see me, I'm into a little bit of everything. Not that I want to know, I need to know everything personally, but I need to be attached. Like when I was talking to the Hardridge yesterday, I was telling them about, okay, to build a nation, that sounds cool, but what we got to know about the sewage system. We got to know about the trash system. We got to know sanitation. Like most of us don't want to go through all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I say most of us really don't want freedom. We just want to be treated better, because real freedom means we gotta, you say we gotta run a water system through this town. We gotta, where the sewage come out, where the sewage plant at, how you gonna run the sewage plant? Where's the guys with this trucks? Where the truck with this truck? So that's a whole, and that's the part I love. That's why I'm with the chickens, the bees, and just everything, because it's about building up a nation. And to me, it's not work. 'Cause a lot of people be like, man, you're doing a lot. I'm like, survival. When you start looking at it, all this is necessary to survive. It don't seem like work no more. There's nothing I do day to day that feels like work. I don't care if I'm writing a book, finishing up on the movie that we're gonna shoot in a couple weeks today. I'm gonna go to the thrift store. They got the moving service, we got the bees, we got the barbecue sauce, we got this. We don't, none of that feel like work, because it's a process of me trying to figure out production lines, distribution lines. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can how can I barter products from different city to city, state to state? We've got the seafood coming, so now we need trucks to bring that back in and out. And to me, just building up a nation. So like yesterday, I had them on there talking about how they growing on their 2 acres they done bought, and like today we're talking about investing. Tomorrow we can talk about mental health. Like, all this go together. It's not a one thing, like it's gonna be people that as experts. That's why I like to have you on, to come on that, okay, this is my thing with the invest in the stocks. You know what I'm saying? Then we got the growers. But if we connect all that as a community, you'd be like, well, I don't grow nothing, but hey man, y'all growing this and that. Let me get some of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we barter our resources and barter our knowledge. Like, somebody could tell you about growing, and you could tell somebody about investing in that same circle, so that's what I mean by building a nation, man. But I get with you offline to see. I know you said we could probably do another show later on this week or something. I will figure out a date. I let everybody know, but I appreciate you coming on as well. This gangster, another hot episode. I'm with the family up in here today, man. The investor, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say a vet, but you still in the military, you know what I'm saying? Still active duty. That's what you call it, active duty, doing this thing out there in Arkansas, man. And I appreciate you coming on, family. I look forward to talking to you later on this week, man.
All right, thank you for having me.
All right, no problem. You have a great day.
You too.
And I want to thank Amazingly Beautiful, Kimpo, Eddie, everybody that jumped in the chat today. I salute y'all. Love.